In the ancient city of Troas, a young man named Eutychus sat, perched upon a windowsill on the third floor of a house. The room was filled with the warm glow of oil lamps, and the air was thick with the scent of incense and the murmur of eager listeners. The Apostle Paul, a man of God, was sharing the good news, his voice a steady cadence of passion and wisdom. As the night deepened, Paul's sermon stretched on, and Eutychus, weary from the day's toil, found his eyelids growing heavy. The words of salvation became a lullaby, lulling him into a slumber from which he would not wake in the usual manner. Without warning, his balance faltered, and he tumbled out of the window, falling 3 stories to the ground below. The congregation gasped, their hearts gripped with fear as they rushed downstairs to the tragic scene. There lay Eutychus, lifeless, his youthful spirit seemingly snuffed out in an instant. Paul, with a heart full of faith, descended the stairs, his robe billowing behind him like the wings of an angel in flight. Kneeling beside the boy, Paul embraced him, and a hush fell over the crowd. "Do not be alarmed," Paul's voice echoed with divine confidence. "For his life is in him." And so it was, as if the breath of heaven itself filled Eutychus's lungs. His chest rose and fell once more, his life restored by the power of the Almighty. The people rejoiced, their sorrow turned to awe, as Eutychus opened his eyes, a living testament to the miracle they had witnessed. Paul's message of resurrection and eternal life was no longer just words. It was a reality before their very eyes. And thus, the story of Eutychus serves as a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of nights, when the soul seems to slip away, there is a force greater than death, a love that conquers the grave, and a promise of life everlasting for all who believe. What was the meaning of name Eutychus? Name meaning, Eutychus means fortunate or lucky, which is quite fitting considering he was brought back to life after falling from a 3rd-story window. Acts 20 verses 7 to 12, on the first day of the week we came together to break bread. Paul spoke to the people and, because he intended to leave the next day, kept on talking until midnight. There were many lamps in the upstairs room where we were meeting. Seated in a window was a young man named Eutychus, who was sinking into a deep sleep as Paul talked on and on. When he was sound asleep, he fell to the ground from the 3rd story and was picked up dead. Paul went down, threw himself on the young man and put his arms around him. "Don't be alarmed," he said. "He's alive." Then he went upstairs again and broke bread and ate. After talking until daylight, he left. The people took the young man home alive and were greatly comforted.